Okay, we're talking about entrepreneurial financing. This is a timeline showing the various options in terms of complexity and kind of the level of onerousness associated with each of these financing options. Right now I'm going to talk about tech transfer and what a tech transfer office is. So you'll notice we're kind of in the middle of the spectrum here, over by using your savings or your credit card or your mom or your Uncle Larry, and not quite over to angel investors and venture capitalists. Somewhere in the middle are these ecosystem-driven options, one of which tends to be tech transfer offices. So essentially a tech transfer office is almost always associated with the university. And what they do, they're either funded by a government entity or funded by the university itself. And really their goal inside the university is to help people inside the whatever university they're associated with, commercialize the things that they're working on. So often this is folks that are working in labs, that are engineering students. It's anyone working with sort of a new technology or a new idea that they want to commercialize. Because they're driven by research faculty typically and not by students, they are more often associated with helping faculty commercialize ideas, but sometimes they'll help students or graduate students. Also, because they're driven by that type of person, research faculty, they tend to be concerned primarily with licensing and technical things. So that would include IP protection, trademarking, company formation and legal help. So what type of entity should you form and under what circumstances? How do you protect a patent or your intellectual property? And how do you go about trademarking something that you're working on, or a name, or what have you? So they're really what they're trying to do is move a company forward in terms of its evolution. That includes help building teams and help trying to go gather funding or put together the resources necessary to gather funding. So you're almost never going backwards to get funding. So if you're at this stage in tech transfer, they're really helping you appeal to these people further on down the line. Now, tech transfer offices typically aren't great at building the actual company. They're not really trying to build a company from scratch, hire a bunch of employees, get a building, manage people. That's not really what they're doing. So their primary concern is generally is around licensing. It's much easier for them to figure out a new patent for some sort of X-ray technology, let's say, help the person form the company, and then file their original patent applications. And then they'll go license that technology to either to an investor or to another entity like a corporation that's interested in using that technology. So often they will be negotiating licensing terms and spending a lot of time on that as opposed to actually building and managing a company themselves. So it's important to understand tech transfer offices, what their goal is. It's to commercialize information coming out of a university generally, and really where their value add is. Arguably it's in legal and IP protection areas and in licensing.